Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Maps and Graps. It's been a while. I've been very busy, but I wanted to make sure that I returned with a special treat, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. I have a very special guest on today. We have Lena Kross, who's one of my personal favorite unsigned talents in the world today. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, really well, thank you. Um, Settling in or trying to settle in um, into the move back to America. So it's been busy, but nice.
All right, so that's my first question. So you're in America now, but you're
Mhm.
Australian. So are
Yeah,
you in America permanently? Are you going heading back to Australia? What's kind of like that looking like right now for you?
yeah. So I've managed to sort my working visa out, which means I'm permanently based in America for the foreseeable future, depending on how things go. But yeah, I have no plans to head back to Australia on a permanent basis anytime soon.
You've been pretty busy in America. I remember in Vegas, you had like a big match versus Suzuki at this
Hmm.
Joshi show. You showed up at the Clusterfuck. You showed up at quite a few places. You've been very busy. And so, talk about what was that WrestleMania week experience like for you this year as more people continue to get to know who you are. And I mean, having such a big time match versus one of the best wrestlers in the world versus Suzuki.
Hmm. Um, Vegas was a whirlwind of it was just go, 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 minimal sleep. It was absolutely wild, but it was fantastic. The opportunity with Hazuki, I was not expecting that Spark Joshi were going to, I guess, put me in that spotlight, considering all the stardom talent that were there, and obviously well established American based independent wrestlers. Um, so I was a little bit surprised, but definitely ready to sort of take that opportunity and make sure that, out of that weekend, if no one had seen me work or perform, that I was going to make sure, without a doubt, everyone knew who Lena Kross is, and that I'm ready to sort of establish myself within the American independent scene.
One of the matches that you had, I think one of the first ones I've ever seen you have in America was the match you had versus Megan Bayne at House of Glory, which
Hmm.
I felt like
Hmm.
was a really, really big deal. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's up on House of Glory's YouTube. I think that you two are some of the best powerhouses. And so both of you ended up being at the clusterfuck. But what was that? What was
Hmm.
that match like? And I know, like, I would love to see like a part two of that match. Is that something that you would love to return to? Any other people, other powerhouses that you would be interested in mixing it up in the ring with?
100%. I think so that the House of Glory match was, again, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I think the week of, I was available and in the area and they needed someone. So I put my hand up. Never met Megan Bayne before, but our in ring chemistry, clearly, if you haven't seen the match, it works.
Absolutely.
um, so I would absolutely love to go toe to toe with her again. And I think our chemistry is great, but also because we are very similar in size, we're both powerhouses. Um, it's different to what you would typically see in another sort of women's independent match, which I think is exciting because you can do a lot more creatively as well. So the having that moment with her in the clusterfuck was a nice, like, oh shit, here we go, two powerhouses. And again, because GCW has such a big platform, I don't think a lot of people knew me or knew we um, had sort of touched before in that way. So yeah, that was nice to have that moment, that sort of face off, and hopefully we can do it again. Fingers crossed.
It was so interesting because, like, I was introduced to both of you through your Japan works, Megan and
Hmm.
Stardom, and then you and Sendai Girls And so you're typically working much smaller opponents. So it's very rare that you get to go like head to head with somebody closer to your own height. Which leads me to that run that you just wrapped up recently with Sendai Girls, which was phenomenal. The last match, you and Sadie Gibbs versus Team 200 kilograms. Um, why Sendai Girls? Out of all the places to go in Japan, there I think one of the, if you haven't watched them before, for people who are watching, one of my personal favorite Joshi promotions. I think like it's a completely different style than what like other people might be used to, and you were a really great fit there. So talk about that run in Sinjo, what it meant to you, and would you ever return?
Definitely will return. So the first time, I guess backtrack to before COVID, Miko Satomura actually came out to Perth. And that's when I first met her. And she's obviously the CEO of Sendai Girls. So I had the opportunity to work with her, get introduced. And from then, she actually invited me to Japan to Sendai Girls. I was originally supposed to go in 2020, but everything sort of closed down, and that unfortunately didn't happen. So fast forward to 2022, and she re-invited me when travel was open. So I've actually been, I think, 7. I could be wrong, but 7 sort of smaller tours. And looking back from that first one, I've definitely felt more comfortable with that style of wrestling within myself, where I feel comfortable and confident that I add another level to that roster when I am there. And all those girls are absolutely fantastic. Like, they're so talented. So yeah, definitely we'll be back. But Miko is kind of that foot in the door for why I am a part of Senjo and Sendai Girls.
Do you have a favorite opponent or a favorite match from like your time in Sendai Girls?
I would say the tagging with Venny, who's insane.
Incredible.
She's incredible. But I would say when we won the tag championships, I think that moment was really special. Being able to be trusted with a championship in Japan, to me means a lot and validates that what I'm doing is on the right track and I kind of deserve to be there. So I would say that would be my favorite.
Awesome. No, that was a epic moment. And you talked a lot about like COVID, how the restrictions, and I think that Australian wrestlers were probably hit by that harder than just about anywhere else. And now we're seeing like the wrestling landscape. Australian wrestlers are really rising to the forefront in just about every single company that you can imagine. And so, what does your mindset look like in 2025? You've been wrestling for a while now. You've had some success in Japan. You're in America. What does your mindset look like as you're trying to make your own name on the main stage, and get yourself out there in front of more people, and really leave a lasting impression?
Yeah. So the mindset is all about being ready for any opportunity, because I guess in this industry, you never know when that opportunity is going to come. So you need to make sure you're looking good, you're physically ready, you're mentally ready. So that mindset of making sure that I am good to go with whoever's knocking, whoever's calling. And coming from Australia, I think a lot of this has no offense to American wrestlers in no way, but I feel a lot of them don't understand, or they take it for granted how easy it is for them to get opportunities because it's just in their backyard. Where for people coming from Australia, we're this isolated country. There's only so far you can go before you have to leave, because not many people are watching the Australian products. There's a handful, but you've got to pay your own way. You've got to sit in an airplane for 25, 30 hours. The investment in yourself to get to a new place, I don't think people realize how much that is. So yeah, having that investment in yourself and believing that I do belong here and I deserve, with where I'm going. Yeah, just it's a grind. Having that mindset of like, you've got to just keep pushing.
So, with that mindset, you're already in the U.S. Obviously you have your long-term goals, but have you set like short-term goals for yourself? Like, okay, I want to do this by the end of the year. I want to wrestle here. I want to wrestle this person. Like, what are those things that you're looking at in the short term that you want to make happen before 2025 ends?
Yeah, so probably more short term is, now that I have a working visa in America, getting on TV would be that first one, whether it's for extra talent enhancement, backstage, having that opportunity to work with a TV company, getting to understand the production side and sort of everything that goes behind being a TV wrestler. So that would be the main goal, but also just solidifying myself as, or within, the American independent scene.
So to switch gears from the wrestling part a bit, obviously you're not from America. So what's been some of the biggest things that you've had to adjust to, that have been the biggest culture shock, positive and negative? Like, what are the things that you like? What are the things you don't like so much about here? It's a lot, for sure.
I think the biggest thing is just access and opportunity. In Australia, the quality of wrestling is so good, but everything is so far. So it's difficult to be able to work, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, just because you may not have the opportunity to travel interstate as easily because it's pretty much all flying. And then two, there might just not be enough shows running in a particular weekend for you to work multiple shows. So I think that's a big plus here in America, is having that opportunity and access to be able to work multiple shows a weekend, and that you can drive places. Everything's sort of like so close.
Do you drive here?
I do. And like for the first week, I've just got to be like, okay, stay on the right side, stay on the right side, stay on the right side.
What is that process like when you're like, do you just like transfer your driver's license, or do you like take a whole different test, or?
Yeah, so you can transfer. So because they will recognize my Australian driver's license, I think, for 3 months. And then if you're staying for longer than 3 months, you have to transfer it, which I haven't had to do yet because I haven't stayed for longer than 3 months. So that's on my list to do. But it's surprising in regards to like the culture, because Australia consumes so much American television and movies. So I didn't really feel like a massive culture shock, because everything's like, oh my God, it's just like the movies. It's just like the TV show.
That actually leads me to my next question. You talked about being at airports for a long time, so I'm assuming you're binge watching something. What do you watch? Like, what is your comfort binge watches? Like, what are you typically watching, or anything new?
Sitcoms of How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine are like my rewatch. Gilmore Girls is like sprinkled in there.
Oh my God,
twin! Yeah. But Harry Potter is like my comfort. If I want to try sleep on a plane, I'll like put the Harry Potter movie on and just have the headphones on, and that will help me go to sleep. Or it's reading. I'll like read a bit. fantasy, romance.
Oh,
Can you
you're
say
so real.
smart?
You're so real. You're so real. You're so real.
Sarah J. Mass has a chokehold on me at the moment. Yeah.
um,
So got into that the last couple years.
we all need hobbies, man. We all need hobbies.
Right?
It's okay. Like, I support this. It's funny when Gilmore Girls did the reboot in Netflix
Hmm.
for Netflix, they actually they actually transformed coffee shops all over the country into Luke's. So they put
No.
no, it was actually really cool. I was in college at the time, and so like one of
Uh-huh.
the coffee shops on campus turned into Luke's for the day, and so like they had like Luke's coffee sleeves and on all the coffee, and then they had
That's cool.
outside. Yeah, it was really dope. Now
Yeah.
it didn't last long enough because they were like, we don't know if people are going to be into this long enough. I think it's great, but
Yep.
no, Gilmore Girls it's for real people. It's for the real people.
Hmm.
Everybody's not going to get it.
No. No.
Have you seen Ginny and Georgia?
No. Is that
Okay,
good?
yes. So Ginny and Georgia season 3 just came out on Netflix. But I like to
Hmm.
think of it as edgier Gilmore Girls. Like if you
Okay.
want the edgier version, it's about like this mom. She got pregnant as a teenager, so she's raising her daughter, and she has a son too. He's younger, and so they moved to this like Hallmark small quaint town. But the mom has a secret past, so it gets a little like crazy. But it's also still kind of like that small town living. Like I said, it's an
Hmm.
edgier version. So like I feel like if you're a Gilmore Girls fan, you'll definitely like Ginny and Georgia.
Okay. Okay. I'll put it on my list to watch. That'll be my next flight downloaded.
So I there's been recently a lot of many bigger shows in Australia. And so
Hmm.
like down the line, as an Australian talent, what would be like your dream venue or dream place to wrestle? Like in your home country, like what would be like the ideal setup for you?
Because I'm from Perth, I feel Perth's just always will have a little piece in my heart. So I've got to say Optus Stadium.
Mhm.
So I went and watched the Elimination Chamber that WWE did last year. Yes, last
Yeah, I
year.
think that was
Yeah,
last year. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and I think just the nostalgia of being able to perform in my hometown in their stadium would be pretty special because obviously all my family and friends would be there as well. So that would be my dream venue. Probably not common, I wouldn't say.
I feel like we all have to have like our hometown goals. Like we
Yeah.
all have to have our hometown goals. Um, so as a fan of wrestling, like well, I mean, as a wrestler, you've been exposed to a lot of different people. I would say, like both
Hmm.
on the American side and like Sendai Girls. I feel like being able to work with like somebody like Sari and Shihiro Hashimoto,
Hmm.
all of these different people is like absolutely insane. But as a fan of wrestling, who do you watch like to be inspired? And like even in your early years, like before you became a wrestler, like who are like the people like that you go to like for inspiration and motivation or anything like that?
Yeah. So I was original fan. I was very naive and I thought WWE was the only wrestling in the whole entire world.
Yeah, it's okay. We all
So
do.
yeah. So Trish Stratus,
Mhm.
Lita, Mickey James, Victoria, like that era of women, I think will always be like the pinnacle for me because they they made me fall in love with it and go, they're badass. Like I want to do that one day. Um, and then kind of the next era would be like Nikki Bella and the Bella Twins. So I sort of reinvigorated my love for professional wrestling was through watching Total Divas when I was like a little bit older. So that sort of generation and era of women and just how they've been able to establish themselves outside of wrestling as well as entrepreneurs and just business women is really inspiring and really incredible. And then, yeah, like you were saying, now being able to, as a wrestler, look at other performers. Miko Satomura has sort of established, or I feel, has sort of become a bit of a mentor, and being able to learn from her, witness her in the ring. She is definitely an inspiration. And if I could have even a smidge of the respect that she has within her career and as a person, I would say that I've been successful in whatever I've done, because I've never witnessed or seen anyone else walk into a room and just demand, not even demand, just have that level of respect from every single person there, is incredible. Yeah, lots of different people. I think at the moment I'm looking at, in regards to my character, it's not necessarily a woman, but like a Randy Orton. Mm-hmm. Big fan of him growing up as well, but I feel like my character and persona can kind of pull a little bit from him, in a way. So I've been watching a lot of his stuff recently.
Absolutely. I feel like Randy was always really good at taking up space, like, you know, and just really commanding attention, outside of the ring. So that makes a lot of sense. And so, final question: what is one thing in America, non-wrestling related, that you haven't tried that you're excited to try? Whether it's like going to the state fair or, like, I don't know, eating fried, whatever. Like, what's one thing that you're really excited to do while you're here?
Ooh. I really want to go to Montana and have like a cowboy experience and like go to a ranch, or because I've been to a rodeo and that was a lot of fun. Yeah. It like was like a visit. Technically not a proper rodeo, but it was the professional bull riders.
Oh my gosh.
They were like touring. So I went and watched that. So I guess like a country town rodeo where there's like all these different things. I think that would be fun.
Oh my gosh. You have to go. Well, I'm from the South, so you could come just about anywhere down here.
And there'll be something.
There will be something. Like, it's crazy.
Sign me up. I'm there.
At our state fairs, I'm from South Carolina, like, we always have like a full almost zoo/farm set up. It's actually kind of crazy. And then, like, everything's fried. There's a big rodeo. Texas is famous for like the big rodeos. Like, there's one in Houston every year. It's like a big thing. But yeah, if you're looking for a rodeo, you got to come down to the South. Like Montana, I'm sure that they'll do okay.
I could be wrong. Texas does make more sense, though.
I'm sure that Montana will do okay, but truly the South is really the nucleus for all the culture.
All right, okay. A rodeo in the South. There you go.
But thank you so much for joining me. Where can people find you? And is there anything coming up that you would like to plug or let people know to look out for?
Yeah, so you can find me at Lena_Kross with a K on Instagram and Twitter. I'm mainly more prominent on Instagram. But from July 1st, I will be based in New Jersey. So I will be at a lot of indie shows in that sort of tri-state northeast area of America. If you haven't come to a show, come along, say hi. I know a couple have been announced already, but there will definitely be more to come. So follow me and keep an eye out.
Awesome. I'm so excited. You can find me at this show at Lyric Wrestling on all platforms except for YouTube, which you're watching on right now, at Lyric Swinton. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you soon. See you later. Bye.